I guess we're live.
Oh, there we are.
Look at that.
Let me see if we can.
Sorry, we're taking a minute. Our live is
No.
taking a momentary minute.
I'm sure we're fine. I can't imagine people being lined up right now to watch. Okay.
But why isn't this working?
Are we back to that again? Okay. I don't know how we can. Okay, that should work.
I love that we're recording right now. Why am I not getting it to work? Hold on.
Testing, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. So now, let's try to both get where we can be seen in the phone and the computer.
Hello.
Can you pull this down?
I feel like in Step Brothers. Hello, my lady.
We need to be wearing tuxedo. All right.
Yes.
Awesome!
4 minutes and
Oh, is that
10
how long
seconds
it
later.
took? All right. Okay. We ready? I'm going to start. Okay. The mics are. You've got this mic and it's on.
I do. Is it?
Why is it in your shirt?
Because there's not a. Look at us.
It's not going to work if it's like not out. It's going to be muffled.
But I don't have the thing. Oh my god.
Oh.
You never gave me the thing.
Well, here, I'll just fold it. You
Oh, Lord.
here. You put this one on your shirt.
Hold on. That's it. Go back. Surely we can lose that.
I'll just fold it like a little microphone. Or actually, I have a buttonhole.
No, it doesn't want to.
Oh, we're committed. We are committed. Sorry, everybody. Here.
All right. Well, we are getting
Okay.
back into the swing of doing this regularly.
Yes.
To have at least an episode every month or every week. I'm sorry. Huh.
Hi,
Here we are.
Suzy.
Hi, Tiffany.
Do you remember the name to our podcast?
Well, it is real talk about real estate.
Okay.
With
I
Suzy
forgot
and
what it
Tiffany.
was. Okay.
And hold on, let me fix our voice because I can hear it in my ear that it's not fixing.
Do you need me to talk or
Go
help
for it.
you?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. How have you been?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. That's great. You've been busy because I've been working for you. So
Yes.
Congrats.
So, just to recap for anybody that is new and watching, we talk about real things going on in the area about real estate. I am a real estate broker and agent of about 20 years in the Charleston, South Carolina area, based out of Somerville. And this is Tiffany. She is my real estate photographer and
Howdy.
does all of the pictures and
All the
Matterports.
media. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Pictures Matterport. I've been shooting real estate for almost 10 years. We've been working together a long time. And
Mhm.
she was my real estate agent before that.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's how we met.
Yes.
So we became friends, and then she got into this business, and we do business together now and
We
work
do.
hand in hand. And being that we are both in the area, live in the area, for our families in the area, deal with a lot of the same sellers and houses and neighborhoods and all of those things.
Right.
We have to communicate and see and talk to each other a lot about um, the situations, how the house shows, what time frames, anyways, this, that, and the other. And
Very
so we deal with a lot of the same things. So we like to talk about what is real and what is going on, and also relate to our own lives and experience and offer some knowledge to that and value. And so our first topic today, we're going to talk about divorce sales.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's something that you and I both
Mhm.
encountered a lot. And right now, where the market is a little wishy-washy, there's not a whole lot of people buying and selling. So I have found that, there has to be a good reason right now why somebody is selling. And it's something that I think we both have come across a little more often lately.
Yes, yes. And I also think, we're very similar in age
We are.
and with your age groups as well. Not that we don't work with younger, older,
Right.
all of that in
Right.
between. But, your sphere of friends and folks around you as well are kind of at that age
Yep.
group where, our toddlers have grown. They are now, in middle school or they're high schoolers. And so, I think marriages that were done young
Right.
hit a point that you're either moving forward together and changing as the new people that you are, and the
Such a nice way of putting it,
children
Suzy.
that your children have become,
It's not a midlife crisis.
or you are waiting till after high school graduation and making that
Yes.
decision from there.
Yes.
So I feel like we are at that point
We're
in
in
our
that
own lives.
demographic.
Yes, as well as our own experiences,
Yes.
which also then, of course, puts us around a lot of folks in the same. And so, it's a huge topic to talk about because, first of all, it is one of the biggest stressors you're ever going to go through in life.
Yes.
Whether it was mutual decision, your decision, the other person's decision. But there's also a lot of moving pieces from the real estate aspect, and selling your home and process to do so, and all that, and going through the divorce on
Right.
top of it. So, we're here to talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and share our own experiences, to hopefully be helpful and bring value to listeners that are in the same situation or going to be going through the same situation.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there is, if it's something that you are going through or might be going through, it's a very stressful thing, selling your home. There's, like you said, a lot of parts to it, and cooperation, and, paperwork. There's a lot to it. And so hopefully we can kind of help walk people through how it works, right?
And provide guidance, and from the aspect of, of course, I am tied with how I can help on the real estate side. There are certain portions that, like, a separate attorney would have to handle, obviously, but I can walk through what those steps are, and her and I walk through together the kind of prepping of the house to get for
Yeah.
sale and show its best,
Yeah.
and things of that nature as well. So,
So let's kind of start from the beginning. Let's say a couple's going through divorce. They need to sell their home to divide the equity. So let's say, first of all, let's say one spouse wants one agent, another one wants a different agent. Who gets to pick? Let's start there.
well, it really, a lot of it lays down with what is recorded in
So
the
that's something
specific
that would
divorce
need to
decree
be in the divorce
instructions.
decree. Okay.
Yes. Now, and everybody handles things differently. Some folks are amicable enough to lay down how they agree to do things,
Okay.
and don't necessarily have to go through an attorney for, one side stating this, one side stating that. And other folks, it is not as amicable, and it does need to be spelled out, and that's where we're following, those legal ramifications.
Well, and I think what makes you a good agent is being able to, you have to stay the middleman, right? I mean, no matter if it's a friend or, you're
Correct,
more
yeah.
connected to one of those people, you have to work with both spouses because it was both of their homes. I mean, do you find that that's hard sometimes, or?
So yes, and it's all dependent on the situation. I've had folks that I have sold that house to them as a
Oh, I'm
couple
sure
and a
that's
family,
happened a lot, yeah.
and then they separate, and I'm selling that house, and then I'm helping that wife and that husband separately also purchase their new
Okay.
starter
And
home.
then at that point, they're probably both pretty
Right, because they all
amicable
had a
and working
relationship with
you,
me, and
right,
everybody's getting
right.
along and agreeing with
Right.
things, because both parties are signing on the selling of the house, and we're coordinating the new buying of the new house. I've had other folks that, there was not a way for one reason or another to be able to work together. And so we've had to walk through the steps of, for example, having the real estate attorney draw up a quick claim deed to
Okay.
remove the other spouse off of the house. So that way, that other spouse then does not have to sign listing agreements and be involved with showings
Oh, that
and
makes it much simpler.
all
I'm
of
sure.
that
Right.
process. And they don't have to
Okay.
deal with each other. I've had other situations where they're both on title, but maybe they can't easily do a quick claim deed because maybe they're both on the mortgage and the title.
Okay.
In which case, the only way to get removed from both would be for the spouse that's staying in the house to qualify
Right.
with the mortgage company on their own
Right.
to refinance it and do a quick claim deed and keep it in their name. If it's a situation like that, I have worked where I'm talking one-on-one with the wife and one-on-one with the
Right.
husband, and sending things electronically, and we're able to still do it together without them
Good.
so much commingling. It's
Right.
almost like me relaying, okay,
the
she's
mediator.
agreed to
Right.
this, and this.
Right.
If you will, the buyer will, and we could sign at different points at the attorney's office.
Okay.
So I mean, there's multiple
Yeah.
ways of working around the uncomfortableness of the situation,
Sounds
depending
so
on
that
where.
you have a lot of experience, though.
Yeah.
In all aspects.
Yeah.
All situations.
Right.
That's
Right.
important because it's stressful. It's hire an agent, hire one that's been
Mhm.
through this whole deal.
Mhm. Yeah. No, it does. It makes a big difference because there are a lot of different
Yeah.
options of the way you can do it,
Mhm.
the way that makes the most sense for all parties to be comfortable.
Right.
Also I've had folks that maybe the divorce attorney referred them to me to list the property.
Mhm.
But one's staying in there, the other one has agreed to remove themselves off of there, but they need to come up with the value of what the house is today. And if keeping that house, if the spouse were to sell it, what the cost to sell it would be,
Right.
and kind of
Right.
add and subtract those
Yeah.
type of items. So there's all different
Yeah.
scenarios really with it.
I've shot several homes where they're selling it, but the person living in the home did not want to sell it. Have you had that happen?
Yes.
So I show up to take pictures, and it's deliberately not ready to home, and
Mhm.
probably a little extra messy, like made no steps whatsoever. And I can only imagine how frustrating that would be,
Mhm.
for the agent who's putting their time and energy and money and
Right.
yeah.
And yes, that's definitely happened as well. And I feel like not to, toot my own horn or anything, but to have personally been through that experience in my own life,
Mhm.
and then also having done so many and worked with so many folks, just I think being able to relate, and it's all about communication and understanding
Right.
because maybe they are spiteful of the other one and they don't want to sell, but it is in the divorce decree that they have to follow
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. And actually, it's going to be in their better interest too because they're going to get more money, and I'm going to
Right.
help
It's
them.
happening regardless.
yes.
So don't, hurt your own self
Right.
by trying to be, bitter.
And I try to make sure that I'm staying that neutral party to get the transaction done for
Right.
them both as the seller, but also be, sympathetic and looking out for
Yeah.
their needs too. So
So therapist,
yes.
add that to the
Yes.
list of things
100%.
a realtor does. Cleaning lady, decorator.
Yep.
The list goes on.
It does. It does.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's something that we're seeing right now because, a lot of people are waiting to sell, and this is one of those situations where, it is what it is and they have to move forward. And so I think it's something that we're both seeing quite a lot right now.
Mhm.
It's something to be sad about.
And like you said, typically when you take pictures, just like when we look through houses or even as a buyer in your mind,
Right.
when you're looking, you start creating a story based on what you
do.
see.
You
So,
do.
if you see emptied out rooms and you only see man clothes and the women's
Right.
stuff is removed,
Right.
you do start to formulate
Horrible
kind of
paintings of like Bruce Lee on the wall.
yes.
It's like, okay, we know what happened here. The missus is no longer living here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But I think it is definitely helpful to have folks that are sympathetic to it, plus have been through it, plus know
Right.
multiple ways to kind of. I think the biggest fear is just making it easy and most comfortable for
Mhm.
everybody to get what needs done
Right.
done, so
Right.
they can move on with their lives.
Because
the
it's
next
one of
steps.
those things where even though they're divorced, they still have to kind of work together
Right.
to get this thing done and signed,
Correct.
sealed, and
Mhm.
delivered. And the agent is right in the middle of that.
And it
So-
doesn't mean that you have to work together in the same room,
right,
or have the conversation together.
right.
That's
You
what
don't
we're
even
doing.
have to go to closing at the same time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's usually what I'll do too is I'll schedule for them to sign
Yeah.
separately if they're both still on
Right.
the deed.
Right.
So it's whatever everybody's most comfortable with.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, yes, we just
Just a
figured it has
little-
definitely been I think through the change with COVID and the economy and
Mhm.
jobs and moving that it's obviously stirred up a lot of family stuff at home and changes and
So
finances.
you're saying everybody's getting divorced?
No, I'm not saying
She's not
that.
No, but I
Um,
think yes, we're both at that
It's a time of a
age
lot of change.
with
Yes,
a lot
and-
of change. The world has changed.
Mhm.
Things are high stress, and not that divorce is happening more. I think we're just more aware of it.
right,
Right.
right, and kind of in the flow with the age group.
Yes.
that's more common at the
Right.
moment where we're at with, the ages we grew up and whatnot. Now kids are getting married older than we were and older than our parents were but no, I think it's a good thing to talk about. I think a lot of people don't talk about it, and I think it's one of the biggest fears of any, sellers slash
Mhm.
soon to be new buyers on
Right.
their own, because it is your biggest investment and you don't know how to separate it. You
Right.
don't know how to move forward with
Right.
making the change of getting a new home and separating from the ex and all
Right.
of that. The kids.
I would say though, if somebody is going through divorce and they are seeking out a new agent, you 1000% want to find an agent that has experience.
Yes.
Just because there are so many legalities, so
Right.
many moving parts, so many emotions, feelings, there's a timeline and steps that
Yep.
have to be taken.
100%.
And I think, all agents are, new agents are great. They have excitement and exuberance and, they go the extra, there's pros and cons, but this is one of those situations where you want to find an agent who has done it before,
Yeah.
probably multiple times because, and especially
There's a lot of
now,
differences. Yeah.
right. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts versus more.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Something else, and this is kind of unrelated, and we weren't even talking about bringing this up, but another thing I think that we've seen is where people are having to sell now is when a spouse has passed away, which that's a whole nother can of
Yes.
worms, a whole nother legal.
Talk about how things are titled and all of that.
Right.
Yep.
What is it called when the house?
Joint with the right of survivorship.
Yes, just all of that. And probate, is that the right word?
Through
Yes.
probate court, and if you have a
Yes.
will and things of that nature, which will be another whole conversation. Because yes, estate sales is a big thing, and or owning a property with an heir or a spouse that has passed, and how you had it titled, and if you're on title
Right.
or if you're not on
See,
title,
I
and
don't know anything
yeah.
about what you're talking about, but I would want to hire someone that really knew what they were doing.
Yeah. Yep. There's lots of differences
Yeah.
for every.
Now there are happy reasons too why people are buying and selling.
Of course.
Babies,
Yes.
babies are happy.
Yes.
Marriages,
Mhm.
great reason right now. to
Moving up
buy
because
and
you've been in
sell.
your first house and it's too small and your
Yeah.
family's growing and you need more
Yeah.
space now.
Yeah.
You make more money now, so you
Right.
want to go to that higher end neighborhood.
Right. I have found though that most people buying and selling right now, there's a big change in life.
There is a lot of
not
change in
like
life.
in 2020 where it's like, ooh, this neighborhood looks good. Let's move to this neighborhood. Usually when
I
you're
would have stayed in
moving-
this house, but I just gained $75,000 of equity,
Right.
and I actually like that neighborhood
I
better.
like that tile.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
move houses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. No, it's a time I think where we're coming across, a
More
lot of
immediate-
big life changes.
Correct.
And, and it's good and bad. But I think that when you are dealing with something like a spouse that passed away or a divorce, things like that where there's so many legal parts to it, you need an experience.
Yep. Absolutely. There's lots of things behind it that
Yeah.
a lot of people are not aware. And
Yeah.
as I said, when I have people that are interested in real estate contact me all the time because I've been in it so long and they'll ask questions. And one of the big things is how do you at what point do you have learned everything there is? And I said I still learn new every
Yeah.
day. There are still situations,
Right.
doing it for 20 years that
Right.
you're like, oh, I haven't come across that before.
Right.
And you take that and you learn and you use it for
Yeah.
the next. But the good thing is with knowing so much of the knowledge, you can be more proactive to avoid any of those issues or deals.
And I will also point out if there's any other agents listening right now, clue your photographer in on the situation. And anybody actually that's going to be a part of this process with you, just so they know kind of what they're walking into, and we can be a little more sympathetic.
Right, correct.
Not go in. I'm chatty, and I'll go in and ask like the dumbest questions, and find
how's
out.
your family together?
Right,
Like,
right.
yes, it's definitely good to
Yes.
communicate, make sure everybody's being respectful and on the same page. You don't have to spill
Right.
all the dirty
No,
laundry
no,
of
no, no.
he cheated on her and blah blah.
But
Just make
a
sure she
little
is aware
heads
before
up.
she's
Yeah,
talking to
yeah.
the wife that's living there with the kids and the husband's gone,
Right.
because that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Because then they're going to be all upset and they're going to say, well, my agent was a photographer, so she didn't have any idea. And she thought, me and my
Right.
husband were just the
Well,
best.
it's
And
just nice to kind of know and, you can kind of know what to expect, number one. So I can kind of help, like you say, that it's a man and,
doesn't know how to decorate.
right. That just anything. And I mean, not only for the feelings part of it, 'cause I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but just so that we kind of know
Yeah.
what we're getting into. And I've actually shot a home where the police had to be there. And it was a legal thing during the divorce, and the person that had the house wasn't going to let the photographer in. So the police had to go
Because it was
and-
probably in written agreement that the house had to be listed
Right.
and all of that.
right. So I mean, obviously that was something they gave me the heads up about, but it's just always
I should hope
good.
so.
Yeah, it's always good just to kind of know what sort of emotions and feelings are going to be involved, and the status of the house put together or not, or sometimes I have to get in and out really quick because of the time window.
Well, and I agree because I feel like to me, you're not just hiring me, you're hiring the people I work with as well. And so it's part of the whole experience.
Right.
So, the experience they have with you as a photographer when you're there,
Mhm.
the experience they have with the home inspector when they're doing the inspection, like
Right.
all reflects on me and the job that I do and
Right.
just how your whole experience goes in general.
Sure.
So I
Yeah.
think that that's all important to make sure everybody's on the same page.
No, I think that right now there's just a lot going on in the world, and we see things that we keep coming across more and more.
Mm-hmm. And, it's something nobody likes to talk about, but it's reality.
No, it is reality, right? Yeah. So, do you have anything else to add to this lovely podcast? that we had?
Not at the moment. Just, obviously we've both been through it. We know whether your decision or not, a good reason or not. You've been married 2 months or 25 years. It's never an easy thing to go through. That I think it does definitely help to have somebody that you work with that not only relates with the situation but is helpful with the correct guidance and also that we're doing things right on the listing aspect and for to make sure titles right buyer transfer and basically make you work as comfortably as you can be because a lot of people their fear is they're going to have to no matter what be in a room with the spouse
Right.
or and not to say that I haven't worked with ones that work great together. That's fine too. But
Right.
just handling the situations the best way possible for everybody.
Yeah.
And kind of being the liaison in the middle and
Yeah, you
taking the stress off
Our
of
1000%
them.
mediator.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with that.
Yeah.
kind of situation.
So.
That's what's so important. A good agent that's been through it before can kind of juggle all of those parts.
So yes.
So
that's the
hopefully you're
topic
not
for
having to
today.
sell your house because of a divorce or a death.
But if you are,
no.
or just having the conversation of how the process will work, or where do you start, who do you contact? Every divorce is different, just like every marriage is different. Every person is different, so
Sure.
there's different dynamics to everything. And if you just don't even know where to start, maybe you're living in the house and the spouse has been gone a long time, and you're like, my spouse did all the
Right.
decorating and there's nothing
Right.
left in the house. I don't even
Mhm.
know how to get it ready. All of those things is what we're here to help with. Because obviously our goal is to make it as easy as possible to you and sell the house for the highest price and make it
And
look the best.
Everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I 1000%
And I 1000% recommend you, but
thanks,
I of
Suzy.
course use you for all of
She
my
does.
for all of
She
my
does.
listings.
But if you are
So-
looking for an agent that can be non-biased, that I think both partners could be comfortable with,
Mhm.
that's experienced, and I mean, there's a lot of great agents out there, of course, because I work with a lot of agents. But I will say, just from experience, and having worked through this with you in many situations,
Mhm.
being your photographer, that you know what you're doing, and I think
Yeah, thank you. Well, we appreciate you listening today. Happy to help with any questions or scenarios or anything like that that you may have. I know it's a hard topic to bring up, so wanted to bring it up to have anybody reach out. And we look forward to having you watch next week's episode.
Yeah.